Hi everyone, it's Randy from Dreaming Bohemian. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I'm coming on today to show you my long overdue design team project for Sheila at Boho Daydreams. And I am showing you today a kit that she sent all of us. And I made mine into a tribute to my grandmother. So I used a beautiful, I think this may be Seaside kit from Sheila. It's you can get her velvet and lace kits at Boho Daydreams, the Facebook group, and you can reach her at scoghill4@gmail.com for all of her beautiful things that she makes, and she also has a Patreon as well. So in this kit, I believe what I used, since it's been such a long time, was a kit from Ruby and Pearl. If I'm not mistaken, I've got all these little butterflies here. And so let's just get into the journal. And then I had a little bit of paper left over in the offcuts and things to make a little journalette over here, and added some beautiful charms on the bottom. But let's go into the journal. When I saw this, I immediately thought that I would do a tribute to my grandmother. I'm just trying to flip out the little charms here. And I kind of had this in my mind for a while. And when this came to me, I thought this would be the perfect timing. I made some angel wings on the front with some velvet that I also had, and then some batik fabric on the back. And I just sewed those together and put a little bit of filling on the inside. I did some of my flowers with the tea light candles on the edge and did some beading here inside. And then I sewed on all of these beautiful gold seed beads on the bottom of the wings. I don't know if you can, there's the feathers. It's hard to see because they're so light and airy, but there's some feathers under there as well. On the side, I used a piece of Sheila's really wide trim for the outside spine. I thought it turned out beautifully. The back I always leave blank for the most part. Isn't that just the most divine color? And she sent some fabrics that I just tore. This is like some chiffon, and I just tore it and made a little bow closure there. So she sent with it some batik, or actually it's Indian, why can't I think what it's called? Indian block print and some lace. And so I used that for the inside cover. And then I used the lace for the inside spine. I love doing a hidden spine, and this I also did as well on this one. This one's kind of a chunky monkey here. I don't really like gator mouth, and I just barely avoided it here. All the charms are trying to hide in there. But there's a bunch of little charms here that I've got that I made, and just some little bead dangles is basically what they are. I like that one. Just some little beads that turned into that. On the bottom, there is so much of Sheila's bling. It just, it's so gorgeous. It doesn't, the camera does not do the bottom justice at all. I love to add chunky charms for the signature strings, and I did that here. I like the way they clink and tinkle, and these are just really, really fun. I added an old key, some old vintage jewelry pieces here. I think we're caught up in the key there. Love this heart. Don't remember where I found that. That was kind of in my stash. And then this says, enjoy the little things. And then a button and just some more beautiful beads. So let's get inside. So here I've got a little tie around this little accordion fold down here. It was just some little tags in the kit, and I thought that would be really cute. I embellished them up just a little bit. I thought that would be kind of fun. This little, these little fibers here match the kit perfectly. Aren't they beautiful? I love using jelly plate papers, jelly prints, and I love a pop of color. So here's some of Sheila's trim on some of her velvet ribbon. And this is my beautiful grandmother here. I just did kind of a little floating photograph here. I put some of Sheila's vintage trim here and some that I cut out of the lace. And then the angels, I think that's the name of the kit, the angels from Ruby and Pearl. And I put angels throughout. Obviously, my grandmother is not with us anymore, and so hence is why I did the angels. So Sheila sent us the most beautiful paper here. I loved it, and I used it as a page. And then I flipped it up, and I did pockets here on either side of it, and then I just, folded that over for that side. Made a little heart just to stick in there, and a pretty feather, and then some more of Sheila's bling. This is my grandmother sitting outside somewhere, I'm not sure where, with a little bead dangle here, and some of Sheila's vintage trim. Just some more of the angel kit. Throughout, I've used some numbers that are kind of special to me. It was actually, I think, an Advent numbers, and I just took that and put those in there. I put a little tiny bit of bling here and some velvet ribbon there. And down here I've got some of my favorite star ribbon that I get on Amazon. It's a little bit pricey, but it's really pretty, and I love working with it. Here's just some fun tissue paper that I had. That was some gold polka dots. I don't know about you, but I'm in love with polka dots. Some of Sheila's lace. This was a piece of wallpaper that she included in the kit that she sent us. Another angel. This is a piece, it was kind of like onion skin paper, and it was very fragile, and so I glued it onto a page here so that it wouldn't be crumbling everywhere. I just put a little cluster here of some of Sheila's ties that she dyed, and some vintage ribbon, and then some of her bling down there. This is some embossed paper, and I love doing that as well. You'll see that in all of my work. Here's a little bit of raggedy leftover ribbon or something that I've peeled off, and I love doing stuff like that. It just gives it some texture. I've sewn on some of the pages just for some interest, and here's some more of that embossed paper. There's one of the first pieces of bling, and I tried to kind of cascade the bling so that you could see it all the way through the journal when you first look at it from the outside. This is a little hydrangea flower from my garden, and then I cut this out. I thought it was fun. That was part of a kit or something. I can't remember where that came from. Anyway, so I cut that out because you're supposed to put a photo on that. And then I just let this little photo peek through with some more of that chiffon that I used for the tie. Here, a little ruffle on the side, a cute photograph, and then some more of that polka dots. Another little number that I just did a little bit of, not collaging, but cluster on. And I just stapled that on. And then I put that little piece over it. This was a piece that I got from Sheila. I can't remember if it was in this kit or if it was from a long time ago, but I put that in there. So my grandmother loved to knit and crochet, and she was a crafter. And so that just kind of reminds me of her. It's another nice pop of pink. Here's just some ledger, and I just put washi tape on either side. I love a pop of black and white, no matter what I'm doing. Some more of Sheila's trim. This is some ledger that she sent us, some more of the kit. And this is some interesting documents that I found in my grandmother and grandfather's stuff. It was a temporary motor vehicle registration certificate. So I just stuck that in there. Some more of that beautiful ledger. Another number with this beautiful little dangle there. I just put those on paper clips on the sides. Here I used a playing card, and then I just put some of the kit on the back side of that, and then just stapled a little piece of ribbon and then put some bling right there. That's pretty. I love that little white pop. This is another picture from the kit and some polka dot. And I love how this layers up here, and you can see the pieces on both sides. And then this is a little cutout from the other side of that paper that had the other cutout. So cute. Here is another piece of really pretty trim. This is actually my grandmother working, and I thought that was a really, really interesting photograph. She was she worked as a secretary for the War Department. There's her name there. Virginia Dare Kivett was her name. Yep. Isn't that pretty? I love that image from the kit. There's another little bead dangle. This I just flipped some gold paint. You know how you just kind of flip it onto your paper. Just gives it some interest. That's some more of the kit. And the kit. This was a napkin. Isn't that gorgeous? That I believe Sheila gave us. And then I just put some trim at the top. It's really pretty with some sequins on it. I put a little feather here on the embossed paper and a little flower. Here's my grandmother again. Just love that hairstyle. And I just put some bling on the bottom of that and some of the chiffon coming off of there. And a little piece of kit. This is the birth certificate. Yep, this is her birth certificate. I thought that was, no, wait, is that her birth certificate? Yes, it was her birth certificate. I had to think. Wasn't sure what that was for a minute. The cute little bead dangle. I thought this was interesting. This was a letter that Sheila sent in the kit, and it says Johnson, which was her sister's married name. So I thought that was really funny. I did a tag here with the wallpaper that she sent us, some embossed paper and some of her trim. And then some of the kit on the back, some wallpaper kit. That might be Amity Bloom's wallpaper. And then just tucked it in here. On the other side of that really beautiful paper that I folded up. There's another piece of bling at the bottom. And this is my grandmother and my grandfather dancing. It looks like, I don't know. They used to go to the VFW a lot. So I guess that could be at the VFW with a really pretty bead dangle here. This was a part of the kit of the vintage images that I used, but I just thought that was fun across from them. Like maybe that was them at a younger age. I love doing this type of thing. You just kind of make a little floof there and then put some bling on it. And I did the same at the bottom here on top of some embossed paper. Here is one heart that I made. And then I did the jelly print on the back side and some embossed paper. Those were really fun. And then I did a little eyelet here and hung some little charms down on the end. I did this one as well the same way. I put a butterfly on that one and a little cute little dangle at the bottom. Here's another photograph of my grandmother. And I just slid that inside of another beautiful piece of that paper. There. And this opens up. And then this a jelly print with a little collaging and another little sweet little angel and some more bling. And this just goes on there. This is my grandfather when he was in the Navy. And he's a very, very small man in stature, but of course he was very young there, and so he looks even smaller. But that was his Social Security card there, and his amphibious training base, which was in Fort Pierce, Florida. There's some of Sheila's bling and some velvet that had left over. And I put this beautiful star ribbon onto this velvet ribbon, and oh my goodness, it just popped. I love it so much. Beautiful photograph from the kit. Another special number. Some more bling. Another little tag with some bling, and I love that because it was an angel with a deer. We have a lot of deer around our home. And I used some of these sayings throughout. This one says, "You are wonderfully made." Another angel, I kind of fussy cut onto that ledger paper. Another bead dangle. This is my grandmother at the beach when she was younger. Another special date or number. Cute little bead dangle. This really cute tag that I made out of this card. I guess it's a laser cut card. Isn't that beautiful? I just thought that was really special with the hydrangea flowers on there. Some more of that star ribbon. Just a little collage here. Another number. This was, I think this might have been her washi tape. That she sent, like a sheet of her washi tape. That was really pretty. There's my grandmother. She actually became a hairstylist and was the hairstylist for as long as I knew her. And this is her at her shop, and she's doing hair. And I actually remember organizing these roller carts for her. Like, they had all of their hair rollers in there, and I would sit for hours and put the colors in there, and then I would walk around with them, and she'd let the girl do my nails there. I always had a really good time. Let's see what this is. I thought this was really interesting. This was Department of Public Instruction, Division of Vocational Education, where she took a how to supervise class in 1944. So super, super interesting. You know, you don't really know the lives of your grandparents sometimes, and I just found that really very interesting. There's another bead dangle. Here's the middle of the signature and where I put the charms and how I do that. Here's she and I. I'm not sure what she's pointing at. I do remember in another photo my father and I sitting on his motorcycle, and that may be that she's telling me that he's here or something, but I think it was from that same day. Here's just a tag that I did a little collaging on. A little scribble angel on the back. I love the way all these papers are not full size. You know, you can just, there's a lot of variety in here. Here's another one of those tags from that card. It's just gorgeous. Some sewing, a charm, the cutest little angel on some of that onion skin paper. I also, I went around the edges of the moon and her wings with some Keuratake ink, gold ink. I love that stuff. It is gorgeous. The light just plays off of it so beautifully. This is a really beautiful poem that I thought was very fitting. It says, Angel Land, I dreamt I was a child last night beside the happy western sea, and all my little playmates bright came back once more and played with me. We sat and whispered, hand in hand, I hear the very words today. Oh, where is Angel Land, and shall we ever find the way? I just thought that was so sweet. I put that in there. It made me think of my grandmother and, you know, her being gone and just being a sweet angel in my mind. I put some of this really fun sequin trim on this page. This cute little girl, and there's a little pocket there, a little side tuck. Another little angel. Some of the wallpaper. Another special number. That was her birthday, the 10th day. And here she is when she was older. She's just so sweet. And then this letter, I just kind of froofed it up and put this little tie sticking out of it. I thought it was pretty. There's the rest of that, the other side of that beautiful paper, and some more gold trim. My grandmother was a really proper lady, and she loved gold, anything gold. I remember, I love how those stick out there, those hydrangea. I remember she had these slippers, and they had feathers on them, and they, like, I think the heels were gold or something. They were kitten heels, and I would I would put them on and run around the house clip-clopping in those super fancy shoes that I just loved of hers. There's another angel and some star ribbon. And the last page is an angel. And I just feel like, you know, sometimes that's her and that's me missing her. And I just loved her so much. She really brought a lot of joy to my life and was a lot of support for me. So this is all about her. I had a little bit of the offcuts left, and so I just kind of made them into a booklet. I put some of that really pretty pearl trim or fabric that Sheila sent us. But this, you know, you could write in, you could draw in, you could do whatever in. I just put a little loose butterfly in there. And a string attack. Oh my goodness. There's some papers. All I did was, there's another little tag with that pearl fabric that she sent. All I did to bind this was I just used this ribbon that I had. It's kind of more like a fiber. And I just put it around there, and it just went all the way around. Oops, everything's falling out. You know, just to loosely put it together like that. So just an extra fun little piece. And that's it. That is the journal in full, and I hope that you enjoyed this flip through. I will put Sheila's information in the description box, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.